How's it going, everybody? My name is James with Conduit EV. So this is a 2023 Nissan Leaf. The control pilot pin in the J1772 connector broke. So this connector actually goes all the way back to the onboard charger. This is our first time ever changing one of these. There's not a lot of videos on YouTube about it, so bear with us as we go through the process and show you how to change this connector out. Alrighty, so I gotta get back to answering emails and phone calls, so I'm gonna hand it off to our lead technician, Jacob.
How's it going, everybody? My name's Jacob. I am the lead tech here at Conduit EV. Today, I mean, you already know what we're doing. We're doing the charging cable on the 2023 Nissan Leaf. Starting out, you want to take off the negative terminal on the 12 volt and of course the high voltage interlock in the rear seat. I can show that. I already have it taken out. All right, so here you can see the high voltage interlock connected to the top of the battery. There is a plate over it and it is held in by three 10mm bolts. Just zip those out and then we can grab that high voltage interlock, pull up the white safety harness, give it one more click. There you go. Make sure you take that out. Alrighty, so under the front hood, we're going to locate the 12-volt battery. It's on the right side of the engine bay or motor bay, and it is a 10mm bolt. We're just going to take off the negative terminal, just like that. Alright, so now that you have the car disarmed and there's no threat of electrocuting yourself, the first order of business is we're going to be taking these plastic coverings off. This one's held in with 10 plastic rivets. I've already taken them out just for video's sake, so that will just pop off like so. Get that out of the way, and then this as well. This is held in by 4 more plastic rivets. Then we have 4 10mm bolts holding in the actual plug. So we will remove that. And then drop a nut, of course. And then this is the latch responsible for holding the charging door closed. We can move that to the right, out of the way. But first, let's get this pin out. This plastic connector. See if I can do it with my fingernail. I can. And then disconnect it, because that is also connected to the cable. There we go. Drop another nut, of course. And that's actually why I take off the under panel, so that they fall through so I can get them. All right, so I just took a look at the footage and I realized the camera was set just a little bit too far away to see what I was doing. The J1772 connector sits right here and it's held in by 4 10mm bolts. You take that out and then this slides out, cable will still be here, and you can push this to the side like so, and then you can funnel the cable out through the back. So at this point, you can start backing it out. Get that one out of the way first. There we go, just like that. I already took out this little plastic connector. There's another one right behind it, and then there are 3 white snap-in clips that are also on this cable that you will have to get out. Those are going to be a little tricky because they wrap around the back before they connect into the onboard charger. Now we can lay this down. Make sure you don't close it because the car is powered off. If you do that, then you're well, actually, it should be fine. And then we can pop this plastic covering off like so. Bada bing, bada boom. At this point, we're going to want to take off the top of the onboard charger, 10mm bolts all the way around. And from the looks of it, it's held on by some RTV or some glue of some sort. So that may be pretty fun getting off without bending it. Oh. Gonna need a shorter extension because it's hitting the top of the, right underneath the windshield. Got a short little 1/4 inch extension connected to my 10 mil. We can continue. All right, so as you can see, that's where all of those 10mm bolts go. I'm taking them all off. So now the fun part begins. It looks like we are going to have to pry the top of the onboard charger off, and it's held on by some sort of RTV or manufacturing glue. This may be a little bit difficult. I'm going to try and do my best without bending it so that we can reuse it. So here goes not nothing, because I don't like that saying. Looks like there's a little pry point back here that I'll show in a little bit. Definitely want to be careful not to hit the brake. All right, yeah, so this is proving to be pretty difficult. It is really on there. So our next angle of attack is a heat gun, flathead screwdriver, and a razor blade. And we made sure that we will not be sinking in past where it is glued. So yeah, that's the next angle of attack, and we'll let you know how it goes. So it's been a few minutes. We got this corner up. We've been using some heat and flathead screwdriver, pry bar, the whole 9 yards, and we've gotten it to give us a little bit of playroom. So at this point, we are working sideways, making sure not to put anything too deep into there, although this right here is clear of any wires. So I will put it sideways, start lifting, and it should give relatively soon now. Put my light down. It's close. We finally broke it free. We're definitely gonna have to bang it back into shape. Luckily, I have gained some experience over the years from bending up these metal covers. Not too hard to get them back into suitable shape. So here we go. Still got some RTV on the back holding it in, but she is off. And right there is what we are taking out. All right, so here's a good look at the interior. Pretty neat. All right, so since I couldn't find any torque specs regarding these two bolts that are holding in the cable for the J1772 connector, I'm just going to be using a handheld ratchet with a 10mm, so I can at least have some sort of gauge of how tight it was torqued on there. So this one, really not tight. I mean, that's inch pounds for sure. And then also note, negative positive, negatives on the left side. So yeah, I mean, that's got to be 6 foot-pounds. All right, beautiful. So now that those are out, bend those up. And then I'll show you, there's actually another cable on the back that's the ground. So here's the cable, the new one. So there's negative, positive, and then here's ground, and that is connected to the back side of the onboard charger, also by a 10mm bolt. I'm going to see if I can get the camera back there so I can show you guys. So we will need to remove that before we start yanking on it to get it out. All right, so let's see if I can squeeze my phone back there to get you a good... Oh, perfect. Yep, so here it is right there. Just held on by a 10mm. And then I'll see if I can give you an even better look. And then there is this metal bracket as well, holding in, also held in by a 10mm that's holding it in from the bottom side. All right, so with those removed, I'm gonna use my feeler gauge, also known as my fingers, and feel those 2 10mm bolts that are holding this cable in. And then go ahead and, oh, I'm backwards. Definitely want to be careful that you don't slam down on any components when it breaks free. So I made sure my hand was back there. She is free, as you can see. Let that fall. And they are the same bolts that hold in the two. I'm going to keep them separated just because these ones are probably a little bit dirtier since these are encased, and then these ones are actually outside. So and once you break them free, should just come right out. The bolts come out willingly, so that's nice. Not very often we get to experience that. Okay, so at this point, with that bracket removed, yep, just comes right out. Beautiful. So I'm going to pull it from this side, so I'll move the camera on this side so we can get a better view. All right, so this cable is held in by 1, 2, 3. Let's see if I can get my phone back there again. 4. Where's my hand? 4 right there, and then a 5th right there. And then at that point, you can pull it through, obviously very carefully. But right now, that 5th little plastic zip tie is holding me in. So I'm going to get back there, snip it, and then pull it out. And then we can start putting in the new J1772 cable. All right, so at this point, I've cut all of those little plastic zip ties holding it in. And I think we can weasel it on out if we're nice and careful. Are you stuck on? There we go. Nice. Oh. Wire it back down through there, and then I should just be able to pull it on out. There we go. Make sure. Look at that. Got her taken out. Alrighty, so at this point we're going to be funneling the cable on through from the front to back, like so. A little tricky, but I'm in no rush. That's why it's going inside when it's supposed to go around. There's 2 orange cables back here. Actually, these that go to the Chatamo. You're going to go behind that. Make sure to go behind it. It was wanting to go in between the onboard charger and those cables. That is not how it was routed, and that's why it was getting held up on me. Now we're getting somewhere. So that will clip back on like so right here. Oh, I'm backwards. There we go. Just like that. Then there's also one right here underneath. Perfect. Go ahead and clip that into there. We'll position that in a little bit. Right now our main focus is getting this where it's supposed to go. It's wanting to fight me a little bit. There we go. And then of course, negative on that side, positive on that side. Whew, working up a sweat. So I will go ahead and put those bolts in. If I had a torque spec for you, I'd give it to you, but I do not. These do seem to be a little bit longer, but no biggie. I'll grab that. And then I'm just going to torque it down to what I feel is right, which is not much at all. Yeah, that's good. And then we'll go ahead and put that bracket on that's held on by the 10mm right there, and then the ground cables that is also held on by a 10mm. All right, so I've got the bolt into the ground connector, and I'm about to kind of feel around until I find where that bolt goes into right there. Perfect. And then I can start spinning it, tightening it up. And then I will get my 10mm back there and tighten her down. But, all right, so that one's hand tight. Now I'm gonna come over here and find that bracket that holds in the cable into the onboard charger and put my 10mm bolt through there. This may be tricky because I can't see anything back there. I'm just working blind. And I don't even know if the camera's catching it. Oh yeah, so that bracket's just a little bit off. Goodness gracious, yeah, this is not easy. I think I got it, there we go. All right, I'll move my hand so hopefully you can see it. There's that bracket that holds it in. Not easy, but I managed to do it. Literally right behind where the J1772 cable comes in. And yeah, I mean, that one I didn't even touch. It's pretty crazy how loose some of this stuff is. But all right. All right, so the workshop's turned back into a workshop. So now that we have the air compressor going in the background and a wire wheel. So hopefully you can still hear me well. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten down those 10 mils on the back. Nice and snug. Find that other one. Yep. All right. Now at this point, we are good to start cleaning up the mating surfaces for the top plate and the onboard charger. All right, so how I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna use a razor blade, and I'm just gonna go ahead and scrape. And when I can, I'm gonna put my hand there so that I can make sure that none of that RTV or metal shavings falls into the onboard charger, because you don't want any foreign contaminants in there, because you don't know what's gonna happen if it finds some electricity. So we'll be real careful when we're cleaning up this surface, and we will shoot into fast forward. All right, so before we seal everything up, I wanted to make sure that it was working. So I have my intern here putting his life on the line. I'm just kidding. He's got some high voltage gloves on, so he's totally safe. And then I've connected everything back up. I put the high voltage interlock in, and I put the negative terminal back onto the 12 volt. And now I'm going to plug the car in, and we should see hear a beep. Yep, there it is, and then see those lights kick on. Beautiful. So we're charging again. It's working as it should. We can go ahead and seal this bad boy up. All right, so now with this all cleaned, I wiped it down with acetone. I'm gonna put some the right stuff, Permatex 1-minute gasket maker, all around.
Go on the inside of this one.
Now putting this girl back on. Got that guide in. Nice. Cool. All right, so now I'm gonna put all of those 10 mils back in that go all the way around. Maybe do a little bit of a star pattern. All right, that is all those 10 mils. And then now we can move back up to the front. All right, so we're back at the front. We're putting the J1772 cable in place, and it is held in by these 4 bolts that are connected to, I believe this is the ejector for the front door. I could be wrong, not exactly sure, not a big deal, but that's just what holds it in. So I will grab those 4 bolts, which are 10mm bolts, and fasten those down. You may remember earlier in the video, I dropped 2 of those down there and just had a great time trying to find them. So do your best not to drop them down there because it's no fun. Had to find it again after dropping it, and it's shooting underneath the fridge behind me. So just one of those days. So I'm gonna hand thread them on first. All right. Cool. Get my electric ratchet. Then I will tighten it with my hand. All right, now we can close that for the time being. And then there's that little connector that comes off of the cable. You want to connect those back together. Oh, wrong way. And then it pops in through here, through the bottom, just like so. And now, at this point, we can start putting on the plastic coverings. This one goes on first because it goes underneath the other trim piece. Nice and gentle, just like so. All right. Put the 4 plastic rivets back in. Can actually close that. And, oh yeah, there we go. Beautiful. And then that's held in by these 10 rivets. Beautiful. Make sure you get all your tools. All right, I just noticed that the camera wasn't capturing everything properly. I just put the 2 trim pieces back in, the ones that go underneath here, around the Chatamo and J1772. And then also this right here, which is held in by 10 of the plastic rivets. And at this point, we can head to the back of the vehicle and put the high voltage interlock in, and then the 12 volt, and then we are good to go. All right, so we're gonna put the high voltage interlock back in, just like so. There we go. We'll put this plate back on, and the 3 10mm bolts that hold it in. And then we can go ahead and pop the cup holder back in. All right, so everything's all fastened up. Thanks for bearing with me. It was a learning process for me as well. Gonna plug it in just for one more go, make sure we're all good before we give it back to the customer. And means I get to keep my job. All right.
Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Once again, this is James and Jacob with Conduit EV. If you guys need your vehicles worked on, bring it on down here. We'll take good care of you. And if you guys want to watch us more, then follow us on YouTube. We're going to throw up an Instagram channel here soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.